had, for now, come to an end. But in my quest to find more Fallout 76 roleplayers, one group's name kept coming up again and again.
They were, I think, the very first role-playing group, ironically enough, and they were also the first group to really catch headlines.
I've heard of cannibal role players. I've never encountered them. They're welcome to see our performances as long as they don't eat the audience or the cast.
They call themselves EATT, EATT 76. They're out there, usually completely nude.
It was time to find the role-playing cannibals of Fallout 76.
I created EATT to be an all-inclusive club. A place where you can be accepted for being you, especially if being you involves eating other humans.
Back in 2019, the establishment of Appalachian Taste Testers, or EATT for short, began to catch headlines for their unique approach to playing Fallout 76. So much so that executive producer and all-round face of Bethesda, Todd Howard, even acknowledged them.
This group of cannibals in the game that they have this community that if you become a cannibal, they help.
I saw that headline. I started reading. I was like, which way is this story gonna go?
Yeah.
EATT had a very simple mantra: meet friends and eat people.
My immediate thought was like, oh, finally somebody's really putting the cannibal perk to good use. It's not a popular thing that a lot of people use, but like these people gravitated towards it and then have built an entire story around that.
But how did this all begin? Why did a group of friends take a single and disturbing perk from the game and build their entire clan philosophy around it?
I was always very interested in PvP, and very early days the player versus player was quite extreme. Fallout 76 doesn't have an inbuilt clan system. Maybe that's something you can look at, Todd, if you listen to this. You're very much left to your own devices to sort of create what you want to create within the game. And so we thought, well, we make our own clan. I said, let's do it, Chris. We make a Facebook group, we can get a theme, we can do whatever we want. And we were just sort of brainstorming ideas. I mentioned the fact there was a cannibal perk. I know in New Vegas there's the White Glove Society that are meant to be cannibals, and I thought, there's something in that maybe we could explore, and Chris just sort of took that idea and went for it.
The Chris Dave is referring to here is co-founder and fellow Appalachian taste tester Chris Grawl. Dave shared that although Chris isn't as active in 76 anymore, he has still kept the EATT group and creed alive in other games such as No Man's Sky. But EATT is still alive and well under the stewardship of Darthnick, and I wanted the grand tour of their experience. I was kindly invited to play with both Darthnick and his colleague and chief trapmaker, more on that later, Jeepin' Jeepers.
We in the clan also have this secret way of greeting each other, which is the cooking emoji. You'd be surprised how many times we bump into the people and they're like, oh my god, you're Darthnick from the Facebook group, or oh my god, and they know the emoji, they do everything, and we just sort of chill out together then. So it's a great way of meeting people.
By eating them.
Make friends and eat people. We had our own initiation ceremony for the admin team, so on the Facebook group, if you wanted to become part of the admin team, if you're with us for long enough and we could trust you, we would sort of make it like being initiated into a secret society, and have an initiation ceremony where we would all fight naked and beat the new member to death, and then eat them.
I was keen for the full admin team experience, so Darthnick kindly skipped the trust pleasantries and agreed to initiate me, even though he accidentally left his stealth uniform on.
Yeah, as long as I keep moving, you should be able to see me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
If you bear with me just a second, I'm just going to get dressed.
Yeah, put your clothes back on, man.
While exploring one of EATT's many bases of operations, Darthnick told me that another founding and active member of the Cannibal Collective was actually his real-life partner. His love for her and Fallout began to even pour through the screen, and he shared that they initially met because of the series.
Short version is we were both in a Fallout group together. I think it was on Fallout 4, and I helped her out with some advice on how to get a pet for her camp or something like that. And I don't know, she saw something in me, I saw something in her, and we just sort of got talking on Facebook and then met up in real life.
We originally started out as quite a small group here at EATT, and then very quickly took off with the help of Chris Grawl, also my girlfriend Lisa, and my friend here Marcus, who sort of stood around in the background, and various other members of EAT.
Jeepin' Jeepers, real name Marcus, was not only a passionate member of EAT, but also a mean, and in both senses of the word, trap camp builder. Trap camps are a specific type of camp built to lure in other players to certain death, and were made popular by a user called A Swift Kick in the Junk and his infamous Deathclaw maze. I'd even stumbled upon one of Marcus's trap camps earlier while researching EAT.
Flip this switch here.
Oh my god.
And incinerate the victim.
It's important to note that I didn't know that was Marcus at the time. In fact, I had no idea what was going to happen when Marcus kindly invited me to have a look at one of his builds.
Hello, welcome to the Ultralux Bank of Appalachia, the highest rated financial institution in all of Appalachia. Here at the Ultralux Bank of Appalachia, we're committed to rebuilding America. Do you have a business you'd like to start? Do you need your weekly bullion restock? Well, come talk to me and I can get you the caps you need today.
Oh, thank you for that amazing introduction. What a wonderful establishment you have here.
Why, thank you. Now, as I said, we are the highest rated trap base in all of Appalachia. Whoa, we appreciate your visit, and we hope you enjoy your final resting place. So as you'll notice, I put a bunch of free stuff out front, so this is a little bit more inviting here. You know, a lot of people who've been in the game for a long time, they see this tiny little spot and they're like, oh, that's danger. But when you lure them into this first part and then you give them free drinks and then you've got free ammo over here, it makes it feel a little more welcoming, you know?
Yeah.
So you built this whole establishment just to lure people in?
Yep. The entire thing is built around a facade. Alright, come around the back. This is where things start to get a little more sinister. And this is where the true hidden nature of EAT comes to,
Oh yeah, we should see the secret. This is a secret EAT meeting room.
Alright, this feels intimidating walking in here.
That's the whole point. It's supposed to feel like you're walking into a cult meeting room. So I designed these chairs specifically with the antlers so that when you sit down, they're around your head, which, if you're familiar with Cannibal and like Wendigo lore, antlers are often used to represent cannibals.
Ooh, where are we going now,
so this
Marcus?
is my holding cell / torture chamber.
Oh my god.
Again with the torture chamber? Oh my god, the first time I met him, he was like, hey, wanna come see my torture chamber? And he built this whole f***ing camp, and I was like, oh wow.
The EAT faction took their lore seriously, but never at the expense of having fun. Their passion for maintaining their characters was surprisingly wholesome, and ultimately, the role-playing was not only the driving force for their creativity in 76, but their tool for attracting others to play with them. It's something that's beautifully ironic when you consider that real-world cannibals are infamously not great with newcomers.
In any other game, that experience would be, on the receiving end, something that the player, wouldn't like. But I think once they realize, like, once you're on the receiving end and you realize, like, you're now a character in somebody else's story, it flips the switch in their head. It's like, oh, this isn't like a negative moment. This is cool. Like, we're creating a story together now, and I just happen to be the guy that got eaten. But, it's still a story, and it's a story that they'll walk away and tell their friends, right?
One thing people don't give this game credit for is the infinite roleplay potential. Games like Fallout 4 and stuff, you can roleplay with the NPCs a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's a dead end eventually. Whereas with this game, you're playing with real people, and so there's unlimited potential of things you can do, things you can come up with. If you've got the imagination for it, you can make it happen.
Meeting EAT, along with the Wasteland Theatre and the team behind the Chad podcast, really shone a light on how wholesome the community has become. Perhaps once dismissed as gluttons for punishment, these players not only love Fallout 76, but had found their own personal ways to thrive with it. My time with EAT was up, but it was now my chance to meet the courier that the legacy fanatic Matt promised to introduce me to. And with this encounter came another unique story and fascinating roleplayer dynamic.